Hey, take a load off there, friends. Today we're looking at some budget bangers from the Enchanting Tales bonus sheet of Wilds of Eldraine. Never one to miss an opportunity to reprint some valuable cards, Wizards is including a bonus sheet in the new Eldraine set. So listen man, everybody's all excited about Bitter Blossom and doubling season, right? Every little crack packer out there with their Cheeto stained fingers is going to wake up on release day and tell their wives they're going to work, but they're not really going to work. What they won't tell her is that her children won't have Dum-Dums and Walmart brand donuts tonight because daddy's out there hunting for a Blood Moon or a Ristic Study or a Smothering Tithe. But forget about those whales for a second. What about the hyenas out there? What are we watching out for? What's dropping down the bulk price? Well, that's what we're talking about in this video, brothers. We're going to do some conjectures. And remember, budget looks different for everybody. Some of these cards are 10 bucks, some of them are 25 cents. I'm hitting all areas of the spectrum. And before we delve into the reprinted steals and deals, make sure you pop on those buttons and subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's take a look at some of the mythics here. You got Defense of the Heart, 3 and a green for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart, search your library for up to 2 creature cards, put those cards onto the battlefield, then shuffle. This is a very weird old card from Urza's Legacy. This was about $14 a year ago, and this reprint made it about $4 pre-sale. Look at those two pretty ladies on there, dude. They're sharing a rose, which is a metaphor for our shared love of Magic the Gathering. It's a neat card in an enchantment deck, probably pretty niche, honestly. But watch for the dip on this if it's something you're interested in. And if you've never seen Omniscience, you're in for a treat. 7 blue for an enchantment. You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. Wow, dude, this guy's engaging in some serious omniscience out there, brother. The omniscience is eating Talion's whole face here. I don't know what's going on. This is a bonkers enchantment. This is a 10 mana card that wins you the game if you can cheat it into play pretty much, dude, in the right deck. It was 12 bucks and is pre-selling for under $4 right now. Very cool commander card, big, splashy. It's got some sweet art here. How about Blood Moon, dude? This is straight out of Bloodborne, brother. 2 and a red for an enchantment, non-basic lands or mountains. The full art is really nice looking and the enchanting frame isn't bad either. This has been a $10 card for quite a while, but this reprint is selling for $5.50 thereabouts for the enchanting frame. This thing is a bomb in a mono red deck, punishes greedy mana bases out there, which your buddy got some fetch lands, what a jerk. Slows these Simic decks right down, dude. Sweet card. This is the 11th printing of this thing and should dip even further sometime after full release. That's what she said. Anyways, Grave Pact, 1 black for an enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacrifices a creature. This is a nifty, nasty card and the most effective version of this type of effect. Efficient version, rather. The Powerpuff Girls version is selling for $5 and change, and that's a little ugly, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like this art. This was a $30 card a year ago, but back-to-back reprints have slaughtered the price. This card is brutal, brother. Necropotence, black for an enchantment, skip your draw step. That's it, dude, just skip your draw step. You might as well just go home, right? Well, no. Whenever you discard a card, exile that card from your graveyard, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library face down. Put that card into your hand at the beginning of your next end step. I don't think this is going to go below $5, but it's notable that Necropotence is selling for about $11 right now. A year ago, this was $30 or so and is a staple in CEDH decks for a reason. This is unparalleled raw draw power. I actually like this art too. It's unique. It has that iconic skull. I'm interested to see what happens with this, dude. I have a very old school white bordered version, but I could use another. What was going on with Sneak Attack here? 3 and a red for an enchantment. 1 red mana, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Sneak Attack is getting hammered, dude. Just got a reprint in Dominaria Remastered. But this art is really suspect, man. I don't know. I don't like it. It's a little memey, if you know what I'm saying. But if you're in the market for a cheap Sneak Attack, man, it's under $4. Hey man, let's take a look at some newly bulk rares. You got Blind Obedience out there, 1 and a white for an enchantment, has Extort, of course it does. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Listen man, this is $1 and change for this sweet art. This lady's out there enchanting some guy's eyeballs. This was up around $6 prior to this reprint. I mean, listen man, this is the big story for me today. Primal Vigor, 4 and a green for an enchantment. If 1 or more tokens would be created, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature, twice that many +1/+1 counters are put on that creature instead. Whoa, wait a second. Is this doubling season? Nope, because it goes for everybody, dude. If your opponents are making tokens, they get double. but it's just as good in a bunch of decks. Maybe that's why it was around $30, but not this reprint, dude. This one is pre-selling for $6. So guess what? Old Nicky G's snagging one because I have a couple decks that this would go great in. I don't know if it's going to go up or down from there, but it's a pretty good card that goes in a commander deck. What do you want from me? Then we have copy enchantment, 2 and a blue for an enchantment. You may have copy enchantment enter the battlefield as a copy of any enchantment on the battlefield that just said enchantment 6 times, dude. This was up around $9, having only one printing in the original Ravnica set. I don't know if this card's great or not. I like it though. I always wonder what the heck is taking these ladies so long to get ready in the bathroom there. They're just in there talking to the mirror, you know? What the heck are you doing in there? It's been 4 hours. We gotta go. Listen, I'm talking to my mirror. Just give me another 4 hours. This gorgeous card is pre-selling for about $2. This is another big one if you want this effect, dude. Fiery Emancipation, 3 red for an enchantment. If a source you control will deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. Dude, I got tripped up because it said triple, dude. Almost fell down right there. This was a $30 card. I remember when this got printed, I was not surprised to see it get very expensive very fast. But the pretty nice looking Mighty Torbrand version here is $4 in the pre-sale phase, dude. Very cool, very splashy card. Forced Fruition, 4 blue for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, that player draws 7 cards. $2 for this art with the old Guido, the king of the feast here. If you look real close, you can see him hiding behind some beefcakes. This had a secret lair version with a blue blob, dude. Look at that beautiful blue blob. I'm going to highlight that here because I love it, dude. But forget about all that. This was up to around $9, brother. If you want this effect for your Nekazar deck, here you go. Never seen it cheaper. It's $2 right now. Oh man, here comes a big one. Intruder Alarm is 2 and a blue for an enchantment. Creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, untap all creatures. Listen, man, this is a big story, dude. I like this art. I mean, listen, it's fine. This guy disturbed the fairies' eyes wide shut watch party, man. I mean, and that is no bueno. This is under $3 in the pre-sale phase and has a bunch of combos, man. Look it up online if you want to. I'm not doing a whole video on that. This hasn't been reprinted in a while. Got a little pricey. It was up to $12. Come on, dude. Hardened Scales, man. 1 green mana for an enchantment. If 1 or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on it instead. I just had to say +1 11D 70 times. Insert your snake meme here, dude. But this is pre-selling for 75 cents. That's the cheapest I've ever seen it. This is a staple in a counters deck, man. It's been hammered into bulk price if you need one. Nature's Will. You ever see this card before? 2 green for an enchantment. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, tap all lands that player controls and untap all lands you control. This is a nasty card from Champions of Kamigawa, dude. It was up to around $12. This little parable illustration here is pre-selling for $1 and change. Very neat card. I don't know why they're shooting that guy off the cliff, but he probably deserves it. Polluted Bonds. 3 black for an enchantment, dude. These are just some bad bonds you're going to buy up on Wall Street, dude. Polluted, don't buy them. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This only had 1 printing in Shadowmoor. That card is $25. But this version is pre-selling for about $6. That's a huge price drop, brother. That's why I do these videos, to let you know about these price drops if you want this card. I'm not going to buy it, but maybe you want it. Not sure where I'd use this, but it's pretty brutal in Commander when those green landfall decks are ramping out of control, man. Stupid green decks. And I'm going to hit a couple notable uncommons because some of these uncommons have gone down in price pretty severely. Garruk's Uprising, 2 and a green for an enchantment. When this enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, so if your commander's 4 or greater, this is a no-brainer. You draw a card. Creatures you control have tramp stamps. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Come on, man. This is 25 cents for this banger, dude. Look at Garruk out there. He's pointing his axe at something. This was up around $3, despite being reprinted 3 times in 2 years. This art rips. Grasp of Fate, 1 white for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield for each opponent, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent that player controls until Grasp of Fate leaves the battlefield. Curiously, this was a rare in Commander Masters, downshifted to an uncommon here. I'm not sure if it was just in the pre-con or what. But anyway, man, it's a heart, dude. The Dairy Queen whip your heart out, brother. The Dairy Queen of Eldraine. This thing's 25 cents. All right, last one, and a fantastic card. You have Utopia Sprawl out there. 1 green mana for an enchantment or an enchant forest. As this enters the battlefield, choose a color. Whenever this forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen color. This used to be very pricey and is now down to 79 cents, brother. Sweet Caroline, quite the assortment of previously unobtainable or expensive cards. There's been quite a lot of discussion about when the best time to buy these cards is if you're interested. Is it in the pre-release phase? Probably not. Is it in the first weekend? Maybe, dude. Is it 6 weeks after? I don't really know. But if there's a card you want, then these are the prices today. And there are plenty that pique my interest, man. I snagged a Primal Vigor. I love that card. But that may have some room to drop, you know. As for the rest, I'll take another look after release. I hope you found some useful information here. If you're going to buy any of these cards based on my recommendation, you gotta leave a comment, brother. Or you can go buy me a coffee at the link in the description. Cheap cards are definitely fun to talk about, and that's my shtick, brother. This is Nicky G from Better Commander, signing off.